guys, welcome back to the Level Up podcast. I hope you guys are having a great day. So today, me and Daniel, say hi.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
Me and Daniel are going to be discussing Islam and Jehovah's Witness. Maybe just Islam at first. We're just using these as okay. Let me start back at the beginning. So I have to take a class this year, right, on world religion. So I'm listing out all these religions that I've read about, and I'm taking notes on them. So I think I've done let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so far. So today we're gonna be discussing Islam, and if that one's too short, we're gonna also do Jehovah's Witness. We're probably gonna do a series going through each of these religions and just discussing what they believe and how a Christian can witness to them. Or like if you're of one of these faiths, how you can like why you should, I don't know. But we're gonna list this stuff out. So the first thing we're gonna do is start with Islam. So Daniel has the notes that I've taken, and he's hopefully done some research on these.
What? I'm gonna do what now?
I just wanted to go back and say, after I sent it, if you want to take a look at them and maybe do some research for a future podcast, the message that I sent him that he didn't do, but that's okay. We'll go through it.
I mean, I read all of it. I just
Okay. All right, that's enough. That's enough that's enough to get through this. So, first thing with Islam is they follow Muhammad, who was a 17th century, I have it in quotations, prophet. And just know we're not trying to offend anybody of these religions, even though it may seem like it just because we believe something else, but heartburn. Oh, my goodness.
okay. Yep. So,
Yeah,
but we're not. Yeah, this isn't meant to be mean in any way. And as Christians, we're called to be loving in when we correct people.
Yeah. They follow Muhammad, who apparently had this vision from an angel, which we don't actually know what it was. He could have. I think we need Cameron to get on these because he told me something about like how Muhammad, or like he had a vision, and I think his wife, he was like, I don't know who it was from, and his wife was like, oh, it was definitely from angels. It had to be, and so
yeah,
he just went with that.
I don't know. I think I usually just think that he probably made up the vision, but yeah, there is also the possibility of non-angelic spirits, demons.
So they strive to keep the 5 pillars, which is their laws, so kind of like their Bible.
So kind of like the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
So don't they also believe in the Bible?
Yeah, they also believe some of the Bible, but they also have the. No, wait, that might be Mormonism.
Right, because it would also be Old and New Testament, wouldn't it?
I'm trying to see if Islam's in. So no, they don't. Okay, they interpret the Quran with or through the Bible. So they kind of use the Bible to interpret their own book, which, I mean, maybe they're most likely is there probably not.
So like, they take the part of the Bible that agrees with the with the Quran, and then they say that it's built on the Bible, I guess.
Yeah, and so their book of reference is the Quran. That's where they get all their life applications from, and that's what they use to focus, or that's what they use to go through life, is they follow the Quran.
Most, if not all, of their belief.
It's good that they follow a book, but it's not the right book. It's which I feel like a lot of people are like, how do you know which religion is the right religion? I'm gonna refer you to me and Cameron's podcast that we did. It's called Proof. It was a while ago, but it talked about almost every reason why you should believe in the Bible and not other religions. It's a great podcast episode. Go check it out. I was really privileged to have Cameron there with me to help me and go through that. So, yeah, so that was a great episode. So if you're wondering why do you just point at all these other religions and but yours is right. Like, what if, because I've always thought about that. If I'm trying to witness to someone, if I were in their shoes, I'd be like, no, I'm grounded in my religion. Why would I want to change? But that's where the Holy Spirit has to come in. That has to be a change of heart. And that's something only God can do. So that's the same thing with sharing the gospel with anybody. All you can do is tell them, and you have to plant the seed. It's up to God to water it and let it grow. So, so they keep the Quran, which is written 17th century. So like 400 to 500 years ago, when the Bible was written. I don't know. It was written a long.
Well, it would be about 5,000.
Yeah, about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, and we still have like original
pretty much
manuscripts.
From the beginning of the earth.
The Bible is the most historically accurate. Like, it has the most historically accurate manuscripts out of anything, not just religions. Like, we only have like 55. I mentioned this in the proof episode. There's like 55 manuscripts that mention or talk about or that were written by Aristotle, but like the Bible has over 5,000. I think it's way more than that. Just for like the Old Testament, and the New Testament has a bunch too. So that's more reason why you should believe in it. And it's older, and hasn't changed at all. It's still the same. Obviously, translations have been made. A few words have been changed, but the idea and the main concept of it hasn't changed. So
yes,
that's something to think about if you're wondering if you should.
Something specifically pointed out in the Bible is like, whoever adds on to this will be added on all the plagues talked about in this book. I don't remember the exact wording, but that's the idea. So the fact that this is saying that, like, oh yeah, the Bible is already on shaky ground because it's like directly going against the Bible in that regard. So
yeah, and also whoever takes away from it. So a lot of people take away a bunch of stuff. Most people take away the stuff about Jesus. Like, Mormons believe he died on the cross. Catholics believe he died on the cross, but they don't. I know Catholics believe he died on the cross, but that was like 50% of it. It was like, you have to do the rest of it. You have to work your way to get the rest of what you need. So that's just another thing of like, yeah.
I'm not sure exactly where purgatory fits into that, but basically, I think if you believe in Jesus, then you're like definitely going to heaven someday, but depending on how well you follow the other extra rules, I think you work them off in purgatory. I'm not sure on that. Don't quote me on that. I think should do my research.
Well, what I've learned from like living in Ireland and everything, I went to a Catholic school, and I think it's purgatory is a place where people wait to go while they're being prayed for. Like, if you watch the Luther movie or if you read about Luther, that's like what happened. That's why he was so upset with the Catholic Church, is because they were making people pay to save their loved ones that had died, because they believe everyone who dies, I think, unless you're like really bad, they go to purgatory and they wait there for you to pray for them. And if they get enough prayers, and if you pay the Catholic Church, then they'll like say enough prayers. If you pay the Catholic Church, they'll like say something to God and get them into heaven, which is just downright stupid. But no, that's why Martin Luther was so upset with it, is because these people are poor because they think they had to pay for their loved ones to get to heaven, which is not true. It was all up to the person who died. It was up to them. No one else could do anything for them. If they accepted Jesus, which a lot of them didn't because no one had Bibles, they just listened to what the priests were saying. they didn't have an actual manuscript for their own. So the priest could change anything and no one would know because they didn't have an actual copy of the Bible. So that's where they added in, like, oh, the Bible says right here you have to pay for your loved one to get into heaven. So that was something they did. So, yeah, when you're moving or when you're, like, adding on to the Bible, that's when you're just you're playing with fire there. That's not smart at all. This, like we said, it started when Muhammad said he was given a vision from Gabriel in the 1600s. So we don't know what it could have been. It could have actually been a vision. He could have made it up. It was most likely, it was not a vision from any godly force because they wouldn't be telling him to make another religion. So, it's definitely not that. So
the Bible
it was either
already completely sufficient.
Yeah, it was either a vision that he made up, or he just had a crazy dream, or it was a vision from demonic forces disguised. Because what Bible verse is it? Is it Satan will disguise himself as an angel of light to kind of tempt you, and then all of a sudden you're in way too deep. So, yeah, it is possible for demons to disguise themselves as angels. So, yeah, so
that's why the Bible says to test spirits.
Make sure, like, if you ever feel tested in anything, whether it's like an urge in your heart or someone says something to you, check the Bible first, and if it's not in there, yeah. So it is. Islam is practiced by keeping the 5 pillars of Islam, which are the testimony of faith, prayer, giving, fasting, and pilgrimage. So testimony of faith. Oh, it's just like it's kind of like their catechism. So it says, I bear witness that there is no deity but God, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. So if they believe that, that's the first thing. And then they have to pray, like, at certain times in each day. They have to give, they have to fast. And pilgrimage is, I think it's sometime within their life they have to go to Jerusalem or something.
Or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not really, Islam is not a common religion in America. It's more in Indonesia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India. So kind of in Asia and Europe and Africa. So, not Africa. Oh my goodness. What? India is in Asia, right? Yeah. So it's in Asia. Mostly over there. Yeah, so they believe that Allah created the whole earth in 6 days, and Allah is basically another name for God, but it's confusing. They have like Allah, but I think they have like another God. It's just a lot, and it's one thing I feel like Christianity is so simple. There's one God and 3 people. Okay, that part's a little confusing, but mainly
maybe not the best example.
There's one God. There's one higher power.
It's not 3 separate people, and it's also not one God doing different jobs.
It's
3 complete people in one whole being.
It's one person.
But it's not like different parts of it.
Yeah, it's just one God. It's one higher power though. It's not like Buddhism where everybody makes up their own God. There's trillions of Buddhist gods that people have just made up. Like they make idols, they make little wooden things and worship them. So, and the last part of this podcast, I think this has been a decent length. I don't know if we'll do Jehovah's Witness. It'll probably be a shorter. I think we'll just stick with Islam. But when you're sharing with a Muslim, you want to first show them the similarities in the Bible and the Quran, and just show them how a lot of the things that we worship are stuff that you worship too. So you don't want to make them seem distant, like you're doing this completely wrong. Show them similarities, show them what they got right, but also show them what they got wrong, and kind of correct them there. But always do it with grace, and never just flat out make them feel like they're stupid. Just like, why would you believe this? Like, obviously Christianity is the right thing, blah, blah. Yeah, so the next point I have is do not make them think that you are better than them. You don't ever want to go into this. You want to obviously present yourself as equal, because you are equal. You're both human beings created in God's image. So you want to go into that with that mindset of showing them similarities, how we are kind of close together. And so it also makes them feel like, oh, maybe this like this person isn't here to attack me. It's like, yeah, look, we both worship God. We both believe he created the earth. They believe Allah created the earth in 6 days. So they believe that God created the earth in 6 days, and that's what we believe. And so just like throughout the Old Testament, just show them similarities, but also point to Jesus. Yeah, show them how God is loving and wants a relationship. And that's like the only this is another thing. Christianity is like the only religion where God came after us and not us after God. Because every other religion, you have to work your way up to God. And in Christianity, God worked his way down to us. He came as a human. He lived a perfect life, lived 33 years on this earth, died 3 days later, was raised, and is now in heaven. And he's going to return soon. So that's another reason why you should start thinking, okay, Christianity is the only religion that says this. Maybe it's right. So, there's a lot of things that Christianity has that no other religion has, and so that's not the only reason you should believe in it, though. But
yeah,
you'll definitely. If I'm telling you, one thing I like is Charlie Kirk. He said, it was like, why? Someone asked him, why do you believe in the Bible? It's like I think the first thing was like proof about how it's the most like historically accurate thing, and then also like there's no truth in the Bible that if you don't apply to your life, you won't see a miraculous change. Anything you apply in the Bible, except for like, I don't know, like girding up your loins, but like serious truths like love your neighbor as yourself, and don't murder, don't steal. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbors yourself. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. Everyone should look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others. It's Philippians 2, 3, and 4. Just if you apply any of those to your life, you will start to see a miraculous moral change. And this should be a sign that maybe I'm heading in the right direction. So, and make sure to show Muslims hospitality, and this is just going back to don't separate them. Don't make them feel distant. You want to feel close and communicate with them. You have anything to say, Daniel?
Okay. Yeah, so I think that covers everything pretty fully. Always good to remember when you are sharing, to do it out of love. And, I think that's probably a commonality throughout all of the, sharing to all of the different religions. Just make sure you're talking to another human being to remember that.
That's something I realized I put in every single, how to share.
Yeah,
for each of them.
Is to, do it all in a loving manner.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's going to wrap up this podcast. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Spotify, thanks for listening, or anywhere else. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to see more, please reach out. You can go to YouTube and comment if you wanna see more of this heading into religion stuff, or if we want to continue in John. So that's going to be it. Thanks for watching or listening. See you in the next one. Thank you.